So, what is vapor pressure? We know this thing that water changes state by two process, means it just changes into vapor by the two process. First is evaporation and second one is vaporization. So in process of evaporation, we know this thing that we don't provide any standard condition for the reaction, means it just get evaporate under NTP, normal temperature and pressure, and normal temperature is atmospheric temperature and same pressure atmospheric pressure, right? But the boiling occurs when STP conditions are there, standard temperature and pressure conditions are there. At that time boiling occurs, and that means that boiling means when the liquid reaches to its boiling point, then it starts changing its state from liquid state to vapor state, right? So the pressure exerted by the vapors on the walls of container, okay, and on that lid through which we used to cover our system, in which we are just boiling our water, so that pressure is known as the vapor pressure. So boiling is also two type. First is open system, second one is closed system, okay. So when we talk about the open system, what happened? Open system, there is a exchange of molecules between the system and surroundings, means when water starts boiling, what happened? The molecules then get kinetic energy and evaporate and move to the surrounding, means there is an exchange of material between system and surrounding. But in case of this closed container, what happened? The When we just provide the heat, what happened? Molecules, water molecules start from means water molecules, what happened? They start vibrating and moving apart, and at one temperature they just change its state from liquid state to this vapor state. And at this time, this the pressure exerted by the molecules of wa- water vapor on the walls of the container is known as the vapor pressure. So this is means now the vapors are just exerting the pressure on the walls of the container. Okay, so this is known as vapor pressure, right? So factor affecting the vapor pressure. So there are many factors, but importantly two factors are there which affects the vapor pressure of a liquid. First is nature of the liquid. In the nature of the liquid, what happened? If it means, if we talk about the existence of any state is because of the intermolecular force that act between the molecules of that compound or that material. So if we talk about the nature of the liquid, means we are talking about the intermolecular forces, because the state exists because of the intermolecular force, not because of the molecules, types of molecules. So nature of liquid is the main and important factor that affect the vapor pressure. What if the intermolecular force of attraction in the liquids are weak? The molecules can easily leave the liquid state and come into vapor phase, and hence the vapor pressure is high. But if the if the intermolecular force is strong, the another process is like vice versa of this. If the intermolecular force of attraction is strong, what happens? The molecules of electron, the molecules of that compound will not leave that state easily. They require maximum heat to break that bond. Okay, and when that bonds break, the molecules leave the liquid state and come into vapor phase. Okay, so the important, most importantly, the first factor is nature of the liquid. Second one is effect of temperature. Temperature play an important role in the existence of any state of matter. If something is if means water exists in state form, solid state form, what happens? It means that the temperature is less in minus, that is why the liquid freeze, the water freezes and form ice, right? And in liquid, it means that there is a temperature at which the liquid state can exist, and gas means it's above the boiling point. So temperature play an important role in existence of the any state in any environment. So as the temperature of the liquid is increased, the vapor pressure of the liquid increase. Why? How? People used to ask this question, why the temperature is directly proportional to the vapor pressure. Because when we increase the temperature, what happened? The kinetic energy of the molecule increase, and because of that the intermolecular force of attraction which exists between these molecules, it's just vanished, it just break out, and because of that they just leave their state and come into vapor phase. So as we increase the temperature, what happened, the vibration or the kinetic energy of the molecule increase, and simultaneously a large number of vapor will form, and because of that they just apply pressure on the walls of the container. So that is why when we increase the temperature, the vapor pressure exists. This is the best example of this is pressure cooker. So when your mother used to cook the food, what happened? If we just full the gas stove, so what happened? The whistle continuously just beep up after an interval of time. Why? Because when the vapor pressure inside the cooker increase, what happened? The whistle up and vapor get out. What happened when the and second it's get down, because at that time there will be an equilibrium between the your solid liquid phase and the vapor phase, and whenever you keep on increasing the temperature, what happened, the vessel will keep on going up and down to remove the excess vapor from the system, right? So the boiling point of the liquid is defined as the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid become equal to the external pressure, that is the atmospheric pressure. So if we talk about the boiling point, what is boiling point? So boiling point is that temperature at which the liquid state start leaving it start leaving its state, means the molecules present in liquid state start leaving that liquid phase and come into vapor phase. Okay, and that too will become equal to the external pressure or atmospheric pressure. Okay, and the boiling point can be changed easily. If we just cover the container with lid, or just we perform this type of experiment in covered system, what happens, the boiling point increases because there is no exchange of material between system and the surrounding, right? So when the external pressure is normal, that is atmospheric pressure 760 mm, the boiling point is called normal boiling point. So when we talk about the boiling point or the boiling forming of vapor under the normal conditions, this thing I have already told you, that under normal condition means under atmospheric pressure, that is 760 nm or 180 m. Okay, so that is known as normal boiling point. And when the external pressure is equal to 1 bar is the standard pressure which we are giving by covering it or by like isolating the liquid material inside a system. Okay, so 1 bar is the standard pressure which we have assigned to before performing this boiling experiment. Okay, the boiling point is known as standard boiling point of that liquid. So there is a difference in the standard boiling point of water and water in open system and water in closed system. So what is that difference? The normal boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. That at that time the pressure is 180 m, right? So that at that time the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. But when we standardize this equation by applying pressure, external pressure 1 bar, then what happened, the boiling point decreases. One pressure means we have just covered that system and we won't allow anything to leave the system to surrounding. So at that time the boiling point of water will be 99.6 degrees Celsius, that is 372.6 Kelvin. That is the reason we used to say that if you want to boil something faster, then what you have to do, we have to cover the system with the lid. And at a higher altitude, what happens, pressure decreases. So that is why it is advised to cook the food in pressure cooker. Okay, so as to standardize the equation so that they can cook their food faster. Okay, next is surface tension. So what is surface tension? We know that when the molecules experience equal intermolecular force from all the sides, so the molecule itself does not experience a net force, and this phenomenon is known as surface tension. Okay, and liquid tend to minimize their surface area. Why? Because what happened when we just mix oil and water, what happened? The oil particles, we used to see that oil particles just segregate together because of the intermolecular forces. They won't allow to break that bond and leave one another. So just they just become segregate, and what happened? And the pressure applies from all the direction to that oil droplet. Okay, and the volume, the molecules on the surface experience a net downward force and thus have more energy than the molecule involved. Okay, so if the liquid is increased by pulling a molecules from bulk attractive force and will have overcome. So the energy required to increase the surface area of that liquid by 1 unit is known as the surface energy. If you want to increase the surface area of that unit 1 unit, so at that time that energy is known as the surface energy, and SI unit is joule per meter square. So surface tension is defined as the force acting per unit length perpendicular to the line drawn on the surface of the liquid. So if you want to just define it, so it is like force acting from all the direction perpendicular to it, and it is denoted by this Greek word. So as you can see this thing in this diagram, what happened? The surface of any liquid behave as though it is covered by the stretch membrane. For example, we just mix, this is blue one is water and dark blue one is oil. So if you just mix this um, means oil and water mixture, so what happened? It is a heterogeneous mixture, and we know that water and oil can't be mixed. So when you just mix it in the transparent glass, what happened? We used to see that the droplet over the surface of the water, what happened? It's just spread towards this, like it's just behave like that. It is this droplet is over a stretching membrane. It just acquire the shape of that water, and it does not seem like कि वहाँ पे कोई ball रख दिया. It's not a ball or balloon type. It will be like a flattened something which is just placed over the surface of the water. This happens because of the atmospheric pressure exerted on that oil drop from the above side. And what happened from the bottom? It will be like circular shape, half D shape. What happened? Because from the all directions, the water molecule exert pressure on that drop. What happened? Due to which this will acquire a round shape, and same with the that drop which is inside the water. So when you just mix it, what you will observe that it will become a small ball type, it's just attain a square shape, sorry, circular shape, spherical shape. Okay, so this spherical shape is due to what? Due to the force exerted by the water droplets equal direction. Okay, it's just tend to it has the tendency to flow, but because of the intermolecular force of attraction, they are not allowed to the leave that vicinity. Okay, and it's just put apply force on the water molecule, but water is there. Water, because of its density and intermolecular less intermolecular space, is just apply pressure, equal pressure in equal direction. So that is why it is seems like spherical ball. Okay, so it has dimensions as kg as square, and its SI unit can be expressed as Newton meter inverse. So the lowest energy state of liquid will be when surface area is minimum. Okay, when minimum surface area, lowest energy will be there. If maximum surface area, the energy will increase. So spherical shapes satisfy this condition. That is why the mercury droplets are spherical in shape. That is the reason that the sharp glass edges are heated from making the glass smooth. We used to see that the edges of the glass of dining table and the crockery which we dinner set or anything which we used to, or glasses which we used at home for daily purpose, what happens? The edges of it, the glass is smooth, but when we cut the glass or when we break the glass, it's just cut it into sharp edges. Why? Because the edges of these glass are smoothened by melting it. Glass is not a solid. It has the property of solid to attain a specific shape, but it is a supercooled liquid. Remember this thing, glass is a supercooled liquid. It has tendency to flow also. But whenever you visit old home, old house or killa, something else, what happen if some glass will be there? So you used to see that its color change into milky, and the glass become thinner from the above side and at the at the below, and what you will see, the glass become thick because of the continuous flow of glass, right? So on heating, glass melt and the surface of the liquid tend to take the rounded shape at the edge, which makes the glass edges smooth, right? Next is viscosity. So viscosity is the measure of resistance to flow, which arises due to the internal friction between the layers of the fluid as they split past one another while liquid flow. You know this thing, the best example of viscous liquids is the honey. Okay, when we just try to take out one spoon of honey and just to remove that honey from that spoon, what happened? The lowest layer just stick to that spoon and upper layer will move. So in viscous substances or viscous fluids, what happened? The layers are there. Okay, the ground layer will stick to that surface through which it is coming out, and the upper layer will move. So when a liquid flow over a fixed surface, the layer of molecules in the intermediate contact of the surface is stationary. The viscosity of upper layer increases as the distance of the layer from the fixed layer increases. What happened when we just start like transferring it from one spoon to the another bowl? What happened? First, the liquid moves very slowly. It just flow very slowly. But what happened when you just start, when you just continuing tilting your spoon? What happened? The honey will move faster because there will be a at that time there will be a maximum distance between the layers. Okay, so the type of flow in which there is regular gradation of velocity in passing from one layer to another is laminar flow. So this layering flow is known as the laminar flow. If the velocity of the layer at a distance dz is changed by the value du is the change in velocity and dz is the distance between the layer, and the velocity gradient is given by du upon dz. So a force is required to maintain that flow of layer, and this force is proportional to the area of contact of layer and the velocity gradient, that is known that force is directly proportional to area. We know this thing from physics. Okay, we know free from physics what happened. Force is directly proportional to area. Got it? So, and this force is directly proportional to change in the velocity upon the distance, change in distance. So, what happened? Force is directly proportional to A du upon dz. So, F is equal to nu. N is the proportionality or coefficient of velocity. A is area, du is change in velocity. This is change in the distance where the proportional and like n is the proportionality coefficient of velocity. So this is like that. This is first layer and second layer. This is the distance between them. So the unit of viscosity n is then n s m square in Pascal. CJ's unit is dyne second centimeter square is called poise. Okay, the velocity of water is 20 degrees Celsius. At 20 degrees Celsius is 0.01 poise. So the velocity of blood in body temperature is about 0.3 poise. So the Pascal is called the Poisson is equal to the 10 Poisson. Okay.